saying that it is better. Generally, the economic sector coped by adjusting business operation, representing 82.22%, resorted to cost-cutting, 54.44%, and sector-specific, which is retail, door-to-door, delivery, and services availing for loans. Results also show assistance also reached the economic sector, with the provincial and municipal governments both sharing the largest bulk of assistance, followed by the national government, and lastly, from the private sector. In general, study shows that the local businesses have been adversely affected by this pandemic and the accompanying policy of community quarantine. Majority under this sector is concerned on how business will recover and operate under the new normal. However, they are optimistic to recover, but needs assistance. The pandemic still up to now shocks ripples outside other sectors, and when it may not have been directly felt under the agricultural sector, since Guimaras, our supply was sufficient, factors arose that made it not outside the impact. Food demand and security have been affected due to restrictions on mobility and even reduced purchasing power. This resulted to an impaired food system, loss of income, physical access restrictions, diminished capacity of the institution, market disruption, and even fresh vegetable wastage. There was a remarkable increase, 29%, in palay production. Though the planting schedule was delayed due to delayed onset of the rainy season, the production still increased due to farmers' practice of dry seeding and other intervention provided for under our rehabilitation and recovery plan. Corn production increased by 84%, attributable to the increase of area harvested and provision of high-quality corn seed and other technical support. How will this shocks ripple outwards to affect broader agricultural system? What are the likely effects of such systems where farmers and households that are already food insecure have less resilience against such large disruptions? We can note a 6% decrease in mango production due to the cancellation of Manggahan Festival last year. Our farmers did not induce their trees and the La Nina. Majority of our vegetables, root and fruit crops increased as well. Meanwhile, decrease in population of livestock is attributed to the 2020 high outgoing shipment data. Livestock raises income may increase, but in the future, supply within the province may decrease. Tilapia production shows a slight decrease of 12.8% in 2020 and from that of 2019. Due to the low production output in brackish water fish pond, the president of Small Farm Reservoir posted positive result in which it contributed around 65% increase in the overall production data. The 30.29% decrease in seaweed was one of the aftermath of the 𝗚𝗍 energy oil spill, as seaweed's planting halted when oil sheen was found in seaweeds areas in Lawi, in Ordan, and the entire town of San Lorenzo. The minimal decrease of 4.42% in bangus production was also another effects of the said oil spill tragedy. A stocking was delayed because of the sensitive water requirements. To further protect our agricultural segment, we issued an executive order number 21 series of 2020 to implement strict veterinary quarantine procedure and food safety measure on swine, pork products, and byproducts, and declaring a temporary ban in the province on those sourced from areas positive of ASF. And to regain our status as a rabies-free island, we allocated 2.4 million pesos for the enhancement of responsible dog ownership and support the stray dog population control measures and canine rabies vaccination program in the barangays. And in support to the provincial law enforcement, we have dog trained and being trained for canine drug detection, scent racking, general patrol, and bomb detection managed by our Guimaras Provincial Police Office, together with our Veterinary Services Office. The African swine virus, which has killed millions of pigs, affected pork supply in several Asia-Pacific and European countries, is already here in the Philippines. With our data on hand, I am proud to say that here in Guimaras, we are highly sufficient. The sufficiency of our agri-fishery product, from the rice to other food staples, are more than 100% vis-a-vis to our projected population. Only fisheries had a slight of 1.5% decrease on sufficiency, which was attributed to reduced fishing activities due to aforementioned tragedy. Our recent fishery sufficiency record is at 95.02%, and to make it reach the hundreds, agriculture production has to be strengthened province-wide. As a way forward, we will not just revive our economic drivers such as agriculture, fishery, and tourism, but revitalize them in order to generate more employment and livelihood. Specifically, we aim to have efficient utilization of lands declared under production land use, increase agri-fishery productivity, improve production of post-production facilities, capacity development, building of farmers, fisher folks, entrepreneurs, groups, co-ops, companies, issuances of approval of relevant policies supporting agri-fishery and enterprise development. Conduct of supportive studies, researches, improve marketing strategy of agri-fishery. And the other products, increase employment, enterprise livelihood, opportunities, increase investment on food processing, enhance access to financing of farmers, fisher folks, and entrepreneurs. We also need to maximize collaboration, convergence with all local government units and agencies, CSOs, private and religious sectors. Other sectors to manage effectively, maintain, conserve, and protect our municipal waters. Coastal areas ensure good water quality, availability, mitigate effects of coastal erosions, pollution, geologic, hydrometeorological hazards, and climate change to communities and socioeconomic activities, and improve capability in disaster preparedness, response, prevention, and mitigation, rehabilitation, and recovery. Majority of our socioeconomic developments is geared towards alleviating poverty. And this is a huge leap to attain the Zero Hunger Sustainable Development Goal with the United Nations. At the start of our administration, poverty incidence among the population was 25.2%, with 2012 as the baseline year. Now, the most recent record shows that poverty incidence among Guimaras is estimated at only 9.3%. And the poverty among families also decreased, halin sa 29.8% in 2012 to 6.6% in 2018. This means that the proportion of our population here in Guimaras living below the poverty line to the total population massively has decreased. Ini nagapakita nga proportion sa mga pamilya nga yara sa idalom sa Kaimulon nagnubo. Ang ini nga porsyento sang pagnubo nagapakita pagin nga mas madamo na nga mga pamilya sa Guimaras ang nakatibawas sa tuman nga Kaimulon upod kapigaduhon. Our most recent data from the PSA likewise reveals that among all provinces in the region, Guimaras is ranked 13 in the least poor provinces in the whole country. These data and information are very encouraging for me, for all of us, especially seeing poverty decline. And the lives of our fellow Guimaras-Lon continue to improve and be part of a more vigorous economy, growth, and bigger labor market. While teenage pregnancy became a problem of another major issue during the onset of the pandemic, it is promising to see that the downward trend of the rate of teenage pregnancy in Guimaras over the last 5 years. On the other hand, we want to focus on the ascending trend of the rate of teenage pregnancy cases in Sibunan, which from only 8.3 having the lowest rate in 2018, the record almost doubled to 15%, taking the highest rate last year. While this may not have become a major challenge in Guimaras, mental health issues came up especially with our teenagers. Our suicide rate and the actual list of patients with mental health condition increased. I challenge our health sector and social development sectors and champions to further identify barriers and causes. Prevent our children and our teens from fully realizing their rights and responsibilities. Another aspect that we need to focus is education. Thus, we always ensure that to reach to our partners from the academy to provide assistance and the implementation of the new normal learning. On the top of our regular support to the local school board, teacher, DepEd utility workers and watchmen, early childhood care development, sports development activity and feeding program, we have provided 8.9 million peso last year and 4.58 million pesos this year for the transition to new normal education through the provision of materials and equipment for modular system of learning. Meanwhile, in support to community protection, law enforcement was sustained together with its anti-criminality campaign against all forms of legal activities. As a result, total crime incident went down by 34.07 from 766 in 2019 to 505 in 2020. Coherently, crime rate has declined particularly in the 8 focus crime: murder, homicide, physical injury, rape, robbery, theft, and kidnapping. Anchored on sustained reformation, internal cleansing, and proactive smart policing, we have provided crime environment and general peace and order situation in the province remain stable. And with the implementation of the new normal ordinance, we have a total apprehension of 505 minors, violators 18, and case files 63. This improvement in the peace and order situation is likewise evident with our most recent performance audit. It shows that our Peace and Order Council sa probinsya ng Guimaras has a high compliance score of 90.86%. On environmental management, I want to highlight that as we continue to implement our integrated coastal management program as the key strategy to support the vision of the province, through the different platforms for sectors, stakeholders, and partners to collectively plan in managing our coastal and marine resources. We have our milestone, legacy, which is the formulation of the Guimaras Coastal Strategy. This is a declaration of the positive expectation of the Guimaras Noon towards achieving the shared vision of transforming the coastal province into an agri-ecotourism capital of Region 6. This eyes to inculcate the value of integration, requiring every level of society to do their responsibility, and more importantly, this will provide a framework for integrated planning and long-term management and a platform for policy reform. With governance, we want to highlight the approval of our 10-year Ecological Solid Waste Management Plan by the National Waste Management Commission Resolution 125 series of 2019. This was adopted last year by our Sangguniang Panlalawigan, a Resolution 152 series of 2020. The enactment of the 2020 Guimaras Environmental Code strengthened the protection of our environment while imposing penalties for acts that endanger it. Along with this long-term policy support, we have sustained strict implementation of the Anti-Plastic Ordinance and the operationalization of our Mining Regulations Board, both contributing to revenues. On the other hand, our 12 established marine protected areas, or MPAs, have been supported in terms of continued rehabilitation, protection, conservation through our 20% development fund, together with the provincial three-part development, among others. And to align to the Island Forest Land Use Plan, we have established 5 agroforestry sites to conserve and protect our natural resources, control soil erosions, and restore wildlife habitat. As we keep this strategy in place, we will move forward to a much healthier and safer environment by prioritizing our water sanitation and hygiene and solid and liquid waste management. Over the last decade, our vision to realize our competitive potential largely dependent on making smart infrastructure choices for our people. With a huge leap in infrastructure development evidenced by our roads and government buildings constructed for local offices and national government partnership, we still have a long way to drive. We still need to upgrade our network down to the barangay to reach the best quality standards and address gaps for optimal capacity utilization. In 2013, all national roads have been completely paved with DPWH convergence programs. And with the support of our representative in Congress, Dr. Lucille Nava, at present, the continued expansion of our national road are maintained and expanded with flood control projects. Out of the 120.8 kilometers provincial road, 89.2% is already concretely paved. With the DILG conditional matching grant to provinces or GP, national and local sources, the remaining 10.8 or 13 kilometers provincial road will be fully paved by 2023. And if you have seen at our capital compound, you will share the same view and vision with me, as Guimaras Governance Center is now on this rise with more than 40% accomplishment as of March 31, and is seen to be fully completed by 2023. Moving forward, there are future transport infrastructure projects that may change and propel this growth development trend. And this includes the Panay-Guimaras Negros Bridge project, the reopening of Sibunan Port, a community airport in McLean, Buena Vista, potential deep sea port site from the coast of Barangay Rizal, Jordan. The implementation of the infrastructure plan will be facilitated by the following policies. Sustainable infrastructure development means the construction of road, bridges, water impounding facilities, dikes, and river protection. Cell site towers, ports, airports, among others, will have minimal impact to the environment. Prioritization of road construction to promote equal opportunity and access to economic activities. And social services for everyone. Resettlement or housing site should be located in non-hazardous prone area, with provisions for social services support as well as access to jobs and livelihood. Tricycles displaced from plying the national road should be provided with alternate roads to continue their services, as needed by the community port development, including the improvement of its terminal, should be pursued for the convenience and comfort of passengers, as well as the efficient movement of goods and services, while giving legitimate both ferry and PUB operators equal opportunity to earn a living. National roads should be free from obstruction, either temporary, semi-temporary, or permanent. And its road right-of-way be strictly observed. Strict enforcement of existing law should be pursued with vigor. Public transport system is set out in the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines under the PUB Modernization Program of the government and being planned by the local government through the local public transport road plan. Should have a standard transport terminal at every municipality and provincial levels. Along major road corridors, PUB stops should be properly defined and provided with basic facilities information and signs for the benefit of the riding public. PUB roads should be designated to connect important infrastructure facilities like public markets, government buildings, schools, and among others. Given the needed infrastructure projects, both at the municipality and the provincial levels, study documentation such as feasibility studies, detailed engineering design and program of works should always be ready to increase the chances of getting funding support, either from the national government or funding institutions. With limited funds and more infrastructure projects needed funding and rehabilitation works, collaboration effort with the barangay officials and constituents should be pursued, especially the maintenance of roads and providing counterpart labor to work on these infrastructure projects. Construction of additional cell site and towers to improve the signals and internet connectivity should be assessed. To determine the cap needed for Guimaras Island Level 3 water supply system should be pursued without harming and depleting the water sources of Guimaras, and water supply infrastructure should be constructed in sustainable manner. Existing and old infrastructure projects like the water distribution system or any other should have regular periodic maintenance to prolong its useful life. High-impact projects being planned for Guimaras Province, especially the PGN Bridge, should be pursued with caution, and all the necessary preparation, including the institutional, social, economic, and environmental aspect, should be addressed. The right-of-way of utilities such as water supply, pipe, distribution network, power, sewerage, among others, should be properly located to minimize disruption of these utility lines. The establishment of quarantine facility at the municipal and provincial levels should follow DOH facilities and building requirement standard. Social and government infrastructure facilities such as local government buildings, schools, cemeteries, public markets, government sports facilities, health centers, among others, should be constructed in non-hazardous prone areas. And if an existing infrastructure stands in hazard-prone area, should be immediately removed. The circulation system of the municipality or province should be designed in such a way that active transport, walking or cycling, is given priority or at least equal road space. On the development administration, I would like to highlight our performance on fiscal sustainability, in which our efforts have been recognized by the Department of Finance. Based on LGU Fiscal Sustainability Scorecards for fiscal year 2014-2016 and 2016 to 2018, our score skyrocketed from 52.7% to 81.7%, giving us the rating of average in 2014 to excellent in 2018. Dense ranking among 81 provinces in the country with outstanding record brought us up to a comparative ranking of 48 in 2012 to rank 8 in 2018. This is a clear indicator that we have greatly upgraded in improving revenue collection efficiency, optimizing income generation, enjoining good fiscal governance at all levels, promoting openness and transparency in local financial management. Our local collection efficiency from real property taxes is 125%, 11% higher than the previous year, and 120% from local and national taxes, including special education fund. Other sources of the local government income, like business taxes and other taxes, income from economic enterprise decreased because of reduced economic activities due to the pandemic. On human resource management, we have sustained the cycle by operationalizing all HR system in the provincial government. And for managing and implementing these systems according to documented processes and achieving process-defined HRM and the 4 core HRM system under the enhanced program. To institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management, or prime HRM, we have been conferred as the Bronze Award by the Civil Service Commission of the Republic of the Philippines. With our legislative arm, we have passed a number of resolutions and appropriated funds for the welfare of the people of Guimaras within the time set under the existing law and rules and regulations, being a very active partner in the implementation of the programs and projects under the executive. It has given prompt legislative support to different development-oriented activities of the provincial government. On the state of performance, a computer-based legislative tracking system has been effectively sustained, where all ordinances and resolutions that date back upon the effectivity of the local government code are on file, indexed by subject, by sponsors, and date of approval duly published online, particularly on the official website of the province. A paperless system in the conduct of regular session has also been proven effective and save a chunk of financial resources. On the state of productivity, one of the best Sangguniang held 52 regular sessions, 5 special sessions, passed and approved 6 provincial ordinances, 39 appropriations ordinances, including the approval of the annual executive budget for general and local economic enterprise, and among others, 400 resolutions, with most number dedicated on the general category with 145 and followed by health with 128. In this address, we wish to highlight the enactment of the following ordinances to wit. Ordinance fixing the daily wage of casual workers hired by the provincial government. Ordinance establishing the Guimaras consignment system. Ordinance providing for policies and guidelines on the grant of aid to individual in crisis situation. An ordinance prescribing for measures and policies against re-emerging infectious diseases in the province, thereby establishing the new normal. In connection therewith, an ordinance enacting the 2020 Environmental Code and an ordinance promoting a new Guimaras gesture of goodwill and praise. As we also move forward, we want to keep with us the key development areas of Guimaras and the roles of our municipalities. Buena Vista as the center for higher education, agropolitan and industrial development center, San Lorenzo as the renewable energy, agri-fishery, ecotourism destination, and gateway to Negros in the eastern seaboard. Sibunag as the sports capital, food basket, and the primary agri-fishery producers and ecotourism circuit node. Nueva Valencia as the tourism circuit capital, agri-fishery development, priority core road development to tourism destinations, and Hordan as the capital town and primary gateway of the province, logistics, investment promotion through the San Miguel Business District at the provincial capital, transshipment center, and primary access to Iloilo Regional Center in the West Seaboard. We had a lot of firsts in Guimaras last year. It was the first time we concealed our banner festival, Manggahan. It is the first time we experience and still battling a global pandemic. It is the first time we have fought an invisible enemy that is so strong and had killed many people. It is the first time we have pooled almost every single cent of our local resources to protect our people. But it was not the first time that we have worked together as one Guimaras known, together for Guimaras. And this, I believe, is the first of the more battles that we will face in the future. This is my last term as your governor, but this will never be the last for all of us to serve every single Guimaras known, who keeps on working, who keeps on surviving. Padayon ang pagubyon para sa masanag nga palabuton, madamog gid nga salamat.
Once again, the Governor of the Province of Guimaras, Dr. 𝗦𝗺𝘃𝗶𝗿. Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presiding Officer. There being no other matters to be taken up, I move that the special session of the 9th Sangguniang Panlalawigan be adjourned.
There is now a motion to adjourn. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the special session of the 9th Sangguniang Panlalawigan is now adjourned. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Mabuhay ang probinsya sa Guimaras.